screw ISPs, right? We're talking about Darkest Dungeon, Prison Architect on the PS4, and Icebound, and Rev can't be here to experience it with us because his internet's out. Do cold open intros work in this format? I'm trying something new. You know what else is new? This episode 78 of the Indie Game Riot. Indie Game Riot!
Everybody, this is Josh, and we're here doing episode 78 of the Indie Game Riot Podcast. And as you can see, Rev is not with us thanks to his internet service provider. Once again, one of the, monopolies are screwing an innocent person out of their money.
Just so weird.
What is that?
That they would do that.
Oh yeah, I know.
I don't know.
We all know how moral and altruistic they are.
Yeah, totally.
So Rev is not here with us, so
screw him. He didn't have to deal with 3 feet of snow.
Yeah, really. Although they did get snow in their mountains, so that's gonna roll down the hills and hopefully water their ground.
Yeah, for a little bit. Water their concrete.
Yeah. There was something else I was going to talk about. Oh, I've got some good stuff for you today too. I'll give you a little sneak peek.
Hey man,
just a little bit.
Yep. Wait.
You'll see it later.
Almost.
We'll talk about it.
I saw you tweet about that, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
The level has been stepped up.
I wonder if Rev's just lying about his internet being down, and he's just pissed that we're talking about this today, and that I have it. You'll never know until we get to starting the riot. But hey.
So one of the things, I guess this can be like of the week. So I was posting on Reddit about IRX, which is coming July 17th. For all of you out there, it's like 6 months away, 5 months away. I don't know. I can't be bothered to count while we're on the air. But like I was making this post in the indie dev subreddit because let's get all these devs who want to sign up for IRX. By the way, if you want to sign up for a panel or for your game to be showcased on IRX, IndieGameRiot.com, and there's a tab that just click it and there's all the information there. But I was looking at the archive for some of the videos that we have from IRX, and I was like, oh yeah, Icebound. And so I clicked on the Icebound video.
They also did a panel.
And I was watching, and I was like, yeah, that was a really great talk, which is something that we might be talking about, but possibly we're talking about it later.
They surprised. Well, I saw them tweet about it, and then I was like, yeah, and so I messaged him. But we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
So the East Coast got absolutely inundated with snow,
Hammered.
So I was in, basically what all the news reports were saying was I was in the epicenter.
You got three more inches than I did.
We got like 33 inches.
We got 30.
Yeah, which honestly,
it's
at
actually,
that point, the extra 3 inches doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's actually a record snowfall for the most snow at once, like out of one storm. Mm-hmm. So that was fun, and basically our town was shut down for like a week.
Yep, I couldn't leave my house until 2 days ago.
They had a travel ban here.
Wow.
So
they shut down 270.
Nice. Oh yeah, they shut down some of our highways too, but that's because people were idiots and died.
Wow.
A lot of people. You know what's really dumb? A lot of people died of carbon monoxide poisoning because they didn't clean out their exhaust pipes.
I'm like, well, actually, what's really sad about that? I know we make fun of them for being dumb and not knowing what's going on, but one of the people who caused that to happen, it was a father who was shoveling out his car, and then his 2 kids and his wife were in the car, and then his wife and one of the kids died.
Oh, that sucks.
In New Jersey. So in this winter season, if there is snow on the ground, don't be an idiot. Okay, so I drive for my job. Yesterday was my first day back at work just because of the snow. On my first delivery, I almost got hit 3 times. First time. Oh, and by the way, anybody, I'm pretty sure that nobody listening to this right now drives a snowplow, but thank you very much for your job. I understand that you work.
Snowplowers,
while
they're plowing the road, because who knows? They don't listen to people while they're on the road. They have their headphones in.
Thank you for all the hard work. The specific people who are possibly hired by the homeowners association in this particular development. Do you guys drive? because every single turn, so every road is either a single lane road or you cannot see around the corner when you're turning onto a road.
I thank you for your work, but you fucking suck at your job.
It's not your fault. It's not necessarily your fault. But what the okay, so on a 4-way stop, I can't see where the other stopped cars are. I go.
Speaking of mounds, though, I get what you're saying, because they put it in the worst possible spots, and this city in particular is just extra dumb. It's just stupid. There's some roads they methodically cleared out the roads, and because they had a snow emergency, and they had to get dump trucks in to get rid of the snow, because I live in an urbanish area, so the snow, it's hard to get through, with the snow piled up on the side. You can't plow to the side because people are parked there. There's sidewalks and buildings, but some of the roads they opened up, but they're not plowed yet, and literally you have to go in the middle of the road with oncoming traffic to go in, and then same thing around corners. I know not as dangerous because generally speaking people aren't flying through there, but I went to Walmart, and this is Walmart's issue. This is their issue, but every Walmart that you go to after any kind of snowfall, there could be an inch of snow on the ground. They always end up with a fucking Mount Everest in their parking lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they always put it it's not even
in the spot that you want.
Not even in the spot that you want. It's they put it in the middle of the place that you drive.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's always it's not in the middle. It's sticking out enough so that you're well, look, the mound. Oh shit, that's actually in front of my car, and then you have to swerve around, and you never know.
And you can't pull into certain parking spots, and then people around here, I'm surprised that people in Pennsylvania, do people in Pennsylvania understand there's snow, there's a certain driving requirement for snow, so I'm not going to be an idiot. Does that happen, or is that just everywhere? Because people in Maryland are the dumbest people in the world. Because I'll have one person go down a 1-lane road. It's a 2-lane road, but it only has 1 lane open, right at me. 25 miles per hour. Just fuck that guy in the Ford. I'm going to just bowl his ass over. And then there's going to be the guy who I get behind every single time, who's on the double, the single lane, normal single lane, perfectly plowed, cleared road, going 10. There's snow everywhere. Can't get the snow. Can't go fast. Gotta go slow because there's snow. And I'm
I see that
people just lose their fucking minds.
People here, it's not that, generally speaking, there are people that are assholes like that. But generally speaking, people understand it snows, slow the fuck down, take your time. Yeah. However, it's almost like the old guy that's driving 10 miles an hour, but instead of that, it's not just that, it's that they freak the fuck out. So it's people with anxiety disorders behind the wheel, everywhere you go, they're just fuck, what do I do? So you're just swerving all over the place, spinning around. You're just what? Trying to fucking play Frogger in your own car. So, that's really what it was like for me. My
Did anything
week
else happen other than snow? Really?
Yeah, that was the whole week. Really,
that was the whole week.
No, my week. I've actually reason that we missed last episode. Sorry about that. I was gonna actually tell you guys to keep going without me. However, I realized I'm the one with the stuff.
Yeah, you're the one.
Another reason we needed a central office, so it could be all in the internal network. But anyway, my foot is messed up, and last week I was in a huge amount of pain, to the point where I was not only in pain, but I was very, very angry because it just hurt, and I was miserable. And then at some point, a little bit before the show, I ended up popping. What the hell is this? It's stuff that my wife was supposed to use for her C-section, but didn't. Oxycodone. And
No, you didn't, Josh. You didn't do something illegal.
No, I did not. It's
you thought about it.
It's completely abstract.
You thought about it.
This is a what if situation.
This is a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs, kids.
But I may or may not have done that, and I was kind of
up, dude.
I was kind of out of it.
Oh man!
So that was like a half an hour before the show. I was like, yeah, it's definitely not happening.
Yeah, no, hey, that's reasonable. That's totally reasonable.
My foot is still fucked up. I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't fuck if I know. I lived. That's what happened.
Yeah,
I'm alive.
That's like
I'm alive, so I must hurt.
It's one of those things like my I got a new bed. It's in the mail. But now my bed, and I don't know if it's the bed or if it's the fact that I had to shovel a shit ton of snow, but like my hip just isn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the chair. You know what? I think I need a new chair. But
that's the reason to get
whatever.
Your tax return.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Tax return, new chair.
So to mix the foot in the snow thing, so I'm on crutches, right? And I'm still using them because it's still swollen. It's swelled up really big. It's still swollen, but the pain has subsided mostly.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
But I'm the only one that drives, so I had to hobble. Not only did I have to hobble, but I had to hobble through the snow. And people around here, they have to, they legally have to shovel their sidewalks.
Yeah.
But, and there's a certain amount of thing, but people are lazy, and there's like this sliver, like the most, like I don't even know if I would fit through that without crutches. You know what I mean? These skinny little pathways.
I didn't even think about
Not to mention the ice after the snow melts and freezes again in the morning. But I had to go and move the car down the road. I'd moved the car more than that, but this, for the sake of the story, what I'm talking about is I had to move it down the road after the snow travel ban was lifted and all that. But all the sidewalks are, even though they're shoveled, they shovel it right on the curb so that when you park on the road, there's this
you step out into snow.
There's this mountain of snow next to the passenger side door, and in order to get onto the sidewalk, you either have to walk down the road or climb over the snow. And obviously, with my bum foot, I'm not climbing over the snow.
Yeah.
So what I had to do, and not only because of that, the snow's like in the parking spot, so your car is like parked farther into the road where people drive. So you get out of your car when no one's coming, so they don't take your goddamn door off. And then I had to with my crutches, hobble real fast down the road,
so you don't
waiting for people, and then look behind me. And once a car was coming, I had to dive in between two parked cars on the side of the road. So that was a lot of fun until I finally could get to where I needed to be. But I'm over winter now.
Yeah,
I'm over it. That's definitely
you could say that you've you might need some medication for your foot.
Yeah, I could stick it right into my foot, I think.
Yeah. I would recommend an Indie News Injection.
Are you bored with the same old games?
Yeah.
Why, then give yourself an Indie News Injection.
Thanks, Indie Games.
This week on Indie News Injection, the first thing, a lot of the stuff that we're going to really be talking about is actually just kind of quick game updates, stuff that's being released and released on different platforms. A couple of big news, but first we're going to talk about Darkest Dungeon. Remember, we talked about that on Peep Show. It has currently been fully released as of January 19th.
What's really crazy is that so I saw a bunch of streamers playing it, actually, some people that I'm subscribed to who do streams now and then. And I actually forgot that it was a that it was an early access game when we talked about it.
Yeah, because it was so good. Even tell. You can't even tell.
It's basically the same game. And no, it might not be for everyone, but the fact that it's actually I don't know. It does a lot of things really good. Watch.
It's a hard game too.
You talk about it. I'll talk about the episode. I'll find the episode where we talked about it.
Well, what are you gonna do with the episode?
I'm gonna tell people how to find our full review on it.
Oh! You're whoring out. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But basically, it's Darkest Dungeons. It's a hard game. It's really cool. The first thing that caught our eyes when we saw it first was the aesthetic of it. It's kind of a Frank Miller comic book vibe to it.
Yeah, but it's got its own charm. Everything really fits.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a link to the episode. Don't watch it now because you're listening to us right now, but it was episode 37 where we interviewed Ben Knowles and talked about Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah. It's got cool mechanics too, and it's one thing that makes it hard is that you go slowly insane as you go. You have characters that have permadeath, so if one dies and they're gone, you kind of get attached to them. It sucks when they die. But it has been released, fully released. Go buy it right now. It's an excellent game.
Definitely.
I think Rev actually is the one that owns it. Or is that you?
Yes.
No, it's Rev.
Yeah, it's Rev. So moving on, Oculus founder
Shit.
Palmer Luckey.
Hold on. That's Darkest Dungeon's logo because I forgot to put it up and I'm incompetent.
Yeah.
Oh. Now that
on
I'm doing the camera different, everything's flipped, so I have to point the opposite way.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Moving on.
So Oculus founder Palmer Luckey will be sued for breach of contract. No, not by Facebook.
You sound really happy about this.
Okay, so by the way, before
he does
I
look
get
kind of
into
like a
this,
douche. I'm not gonna lie. If I just go based off first impressions.
Yeah. So I wrote an article. So the Oculus is accepting pre-orders right now, and I think we had a discussion about this. The Oculus is accepting pre-orders, and they basically didn't do a very good job of marketing why it was going to be so expensive. And for those of you who are listening to the live show, there's a link to that article while you're listening to me talk about it.
Jeez, you were just in
I'm just on
fishnets
it.
tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm on it right now. Just give me a few shots of rum and I got this.
You're on the corner.
So Palmer Luckey, the founder of Oculus, is going to be sued by Total Recall, which is a company that hired him in 2011.
The logo is
to
Arnold
produce
Schwarzenegger
a
with
virtual,
bug eyes.
Yeah. They basically hired Palmer Luckey onto a team to develop a virtual reality device before the 2012 Kickstarter campaign for Oculus. And the company is alleging that he breached the confidentiality contract that he signed and used information and technology that company had used to fund or to basically market and then fund and then sell to Facebook.
And see,
Oculus.
I thought they were pissed about, like, because I forget again what episode this was.
Yeah.
But a while back we talked about when they first announced that his old company was pissed at him. I thought it was about the exclusivity thing where he couldn't become a competitor for a certain amount of years before moving on. You know what I mean?
No, this is about actual.
And then,
technology.
because he developed it while working with them, it is then their property. That was the thing.
Yep.
So
and that's the thing too. Like what I guess a lot of people who aren't in the development scene, and I'm not saying that we're in the development scene, but we sort of get a better view of what it's like to work.
We keep our eyes on it
Yeah.
closer than most.
So when you work at a development studio, basically all of the code that you write and anything you do, including stuff that you do in like your spare time in some cases, is property of the company that you're working for. And maybe he didn't, maybe he took some stuff, maybe he didn't. I personally am a little bit angry at them for the poor advertising they did, but I'm really curious to see how things
Now look at
out.
it from his point of view at this point in Oculus's life. He sold it to Facebook for how much was it?
$2 billion.
$2 billion.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Right.
That's 2 lottery wins.
He can settle with them easily.
He could.
And he'll still be rich because he's still working for Oculus.
Well, here's the thing. Now, I'm gonna and this is gonna be really weird. I'm basically gonna play Rev at this point because he's not here to argue. What if they hired Palmer Luckey because he's really good at VR, and everything that he brought to the table for Total Recall is stuff that he already had, and knowledge that he already understood before he even got there. Obviously, they're not hiring this guy. I mean, it's weird. It feels weird.
Facebook might even help him pay off this settlement if they settle, or even if they don't settle, it's still the worst possible scenario for this is that his old company would want a royalty cut because then that's continuous.
Hey, man, if that happened,
but if they go
honestly,
for a settlement where there's just one lump sum, I mean, you're talking about Facebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like Facebook doesn't give a shit. They're like, pocket change.
But in this case, I feel as though this is a case against Palmer Luckey, not Oculus nor Facebook. So as an employee of Facebook, does he have like protections against that? Like, would Facebook like back him up and be like, yeah, you're totally right.
I don't think Facebook
money for.
I don't think Facebook has. I don't think they're obligated to. But I think they would.
The dude has $2 billion.
But even if they didn't, like I said, he has $2 billion. In the end, what the point I was going for is that in his current position, it was completely worth it, morally corrupt or not. It's completely worth it because he's like, I'm rich now. Fuck you guys. Here's some money.
Wish, though, I really so there are two outcomes that could happen here. Either they accept a settlement deal for a undisclosed amount of money, which is probably going to happen, or Total Recall, who basically it would feel as though Total Recall is more in the right if they actually went to trial, before, like after any settlement deal could have possibly been arranged and none of that goes through and they actually go to the trial and Total Recall has really distinct hard evidence against this. Like, I like.
Well, the evidence is his contract.
That's true. Like you can want whatever you want.
It really comes down to semantics.
Exactly. I mean, it's the law. Like there are books on the law.
The only way he would get out of it is if his lawyer was like the freaking who was the guy, the OJ lawyer.
Yeah.
Is basically if the guy can like swindle and manipulate his way out of it. Yep. You know what I mean? But
exactly. But in the end,
if you hate Palmer Luckey,
good for
you.
A lot of fucking money.
But he's still rolling in it. So
yeah.
Good for him, I guess, and everyone involved. I don't know. It feels like a good thing for everyone involved now.
yeah,
now
really.
he's getting sued.
Definitely.
But you know what else is a good thing for certain people? PS4 players will now be getting Prison Architect on their consoles from the story that I'm
PS4.
reading here. And also they will be I think they're putting it on Xbox One and Xbox 360 as well. I don't know why 360. I feel like at this point
the 360's dead.
It starts to they should just fade it out.
So many people have 360s. And Prison Architect isn't a hard game to run. The 360 can handle it. Why not allow people to do it?
It's not hard to run, but there are, depending on how you
that's
play
true.
it. Like
how big you play it.
Yeah, how big you play it. It can, because it's slowed down. That was back when I had my laptop, but it can slow down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of tasks going on within the game, even though it's not graphically hard. But just thought it was really cool.
When are they releasing that, or is that already released?
It's spring. That is what is happening.
All right, so in the spring. So if you're on a PS4 and you decide that if you have a computer that can't run Prison Architect already,
you need a new computer.
Or if you don't want to buy a Steam Link to play your Steam games on your big screen TV downstairs, and you have a PS4, Prison Architect on the PS4. I'm not probably going to do it, even though I have a PS4, but
I have it on PC, so I don't need
it. Exactly, like PC.
But it's still cool.
But hey, you'll be able to get it. And that's
the important thing.
That is the important part.
Prison Architect, also winners of Indie Game Riot of the Year award this past season.
User voted. It was the highest voted game that was released in 2015. Congratulations, Prison Architect. You guys are going places. You guys honestly, Prison Architect handled early access very, very well. And this is the next logical step. I mean, are they going to release a Prison Architect 2? Probably not. I'm excited to see what the.
To me, this is like a Minecraft sort of thing where they're just continuously updating it. Because even after the initial 1.0, they're still adding features.
Yep, exactly.
Which is really cool.
So good on you, Prison Architect. Congratulations. We'll get you a shield at some point. Moving on to a game that actually surprised, I think, everybody at the Indie Game Riot team. Her Story. Her Story is the what's it called? Live action footage?
Yeah, it's live action.
What's the term?
I don't know. Just call it live action.
In the vein of can't remember. There's
in
real
the game in the
video-
vein of what's that trap?
House
Night Trap.
Night Trap, exactly. Where there's like actual real video. It won tons of different awards in 2015. Well, if you liked Her Story, and actually a lot of people do, they're coming out with a Her Story 2, and it's going to be, apparently, it's going to be completely different. They're going to rework everything. It's basically, I think the only thing that they're keeping is like the style, right? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's basically the same. No, they're doing the same mechanic and style and everything, right?
Yeah.
It's just a completely different story, different actors and everything like that.
Yeah.
So,
which is great because, like, honestly, there are a lot of games that come out that aren't very good, and Her Story.
This game was a dark horse and came out of nowhere to
Yeah.
win a bunch of awards.
In the elevator pitch,
We missed it on our radar.
If somebody would have elevator pitched me this game, I would have been like, "You're an idiot." And
Like,
then
well, that's because
good.
when you think live action games, like all the games are like mediocre at best. It was Night Trap, which is, I mean, it's kind of a cult classic now, but it's in the vein of like,
it wasn't good.
That's funny.
It
You know what I
wasn't a
mean?
good game.
What was the other one
There were other- I
Tex something
Tex Murphy.
Tex Murphy, again, very campy. The live action, terrible acting, bad cosmetics.
Yeah. But hey, like this might be a turning point in how games like we're talking. This is a genre.
Although no,
that's coming back.
There's another live action game. What the hell was it called though?
I don't know. I know what you're
something.
talking
It was something about like driving in a limo or something.
Yeah, but that game was bad.
Was it? I feel like it is getting a lot of publicity.
It's probably because it was bad.
No,
I
good publicity.
Can't remember. I don't remember. I haven't played it.
I'm pretty sure, but maybe there's like an insurgent, like a
maybe. But you know how people talk about point and click games being dead and like they're coming back. Point and click games never went away.
Oh no,
live action games
did go away.
Died.
Yeah, they
disappeared, and now they're back. And Her Story 2 and the devs behind Her Story 2, Sam Barlow is basically saying that it's a working title, but it's going to be very similar. So keep your eyes out. Look forward to it if that's your thing. If not, that's okay. Moving on.
You know what else might be okay? Last week not last week, but last episode I think it was, we were bitching about GOG.
Yeah.
The game marketplace.
Yep.
Because they rejected Poncho, which is still pretty messed up. But
Man, Poncho's so much fun.
Yeah, I don't understand. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
The cool thing now is that they are actually starting to sell early access games in the vein of how Steam does it. However, they're doing it in a smart way by curating it and not just putting whatever the fuck the people pay. You know what I mean? It seems like you give us money, sure, why not? And also, not only are they heavily curating it, but they're also giving refunds back, no questions asked, to people who buy these games and don't like them.
Oh man!
So
that's genius.
So
that's actually genius. Like I think so. You know how we gave GOG crap for not accepting Poncho?
Yeah.
So what about all the games that we think are pretty good that Indie Game Stand doesn't approve of? That they just don't like. They're like, we're not doing it.
Wait, hold on. Repeat again.
So Indie Game Stand,
right?
Which by the way, full disclosure, we have an affiliate link with Indie Game Stand.
No,
I believe
not anymore.
Not anymore. Never mind.
They canceled it, so we stopped doing it.
That's okay. Still, Indie Game Stand, pretty great site, regardless of whether we're getting paid by them or not, which we're not. They have a curated store where you can buy a lot of indie games. They think of a game that was like a lot of people really like that maybe have been too niche for them. Like, shit, where was I going with that? Anyway, I think that this is the right direction.
Indie Game Stand, they curate, but at the same time,
they're a little looser.
I think so. A lot of the games on their website are kind of like, it's almost like itch.io, where it's very starting devs putting out their games.
Yeah. Anyway, basically,
they do have really good games on there as well, though.
The refund policy for GOG otherwise is a 30-day refund policy for normal games, except if it's early access, which means you can basically refund it for any reason, which I almost think is kind of bad for the devs.
Well, I mean,
like just a little bit. Just
I think
a little bit.
I think it's something that people are going to abuse that, but I think it's something that you need to kind of see how it goes, because I think that the majority of people who buy these games are not going to play it and then return it. Because people are like, I want to support these devs. I think the majority of people want to support the devs, so they're not going to do that. There are some people, but not, I think, most people. So I don't think it's going to be a huge effect in that way. But they are starting it very slowly, very lately. I think there's only 5 games that they're doing right now. Ashes of the Singularity, Starbound.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
All right.
Well, it's from a reputable dev.
Air quotes.
And it does get updates and everything. So
it does. You're right.
TerraTech, which we talked about recently. Project Zomboid, we talked about at some point. The Curious Expedition, we also talked about. So I mean,
basically, they just listened to the show and they're like, "Oh yeah, these are good. All right, they talked about these."
they took our idea. No,
exactly.
So actually, good on you. I'm happy about it. Actually,
I'm happy about it too. Yeah. Any platform that lets a dev
now
make
put fucking Poncho
on
your goddamn site. So
yeah, seriously, I'm almost ready to start like a petition.
Or maybe we should start a riot.
There you go, starting the riot.
All right, guys, it is starting the riot, and this week, let me just give you a little. Oh, yeah. Remember when we talked about this in an interview with one of the developers, Aaron Reed? Icebound.
And then they had an entire 45 minutes on Indie Revolution Expo, hashtag IRX.
Both Aaron and Jacob did a panel for Icebound. This is the
Icebound.
It's finally released. The Icebound
consortium
game.
Compendium.
Consortium is the right word. The compendium is the word for the book, but the game is consortium. But really, really cool game, and I was playing it today actually. And man, first of all, let me get this gameplay footage up and rolling for you all. It's not like, I mean, it's text based mostly, but you know,
you got to look at something.
Yeah,
that isn't us.
By Down to the Wire is actually the dev team name, and for those of you who didn't see that interview, it's a game that uses augmented reality. So it's for iPad, and also you can use it on your computer if you have a webcam, which is how I do it. And it's actually, to be honest, the game itself, the digital game, is free. You can actually get it on itch.io, but you have to pay for the compendium, which is the book that I was just showing you. The point of it is that the author of the book is dead. However, his memories, his personality, and everything has been uploaded into an AI, and the AI's job is to help you, or you're actually supposed to help the AI finish his book that he died before finishing. It's supposed to be like a masterpiece and all that sort of stuff. And you're going towards it's kind of like a choose your own ending in a way that the point is it gives you options, and you have to find a combination of options that you like. It doesn't have to be a certain one. It's whatever you want, but you're combining it to go in a certain direction and stick to a theme of the book and everything like that.
Basically, you're using a physical copy of
the book,
information about the writer's life.
The physical copy
prove to the AI.
The physical copy is actually not doesn't come into the game. So actually, you can play the game for a little bit, before needing the book, through the tutorial.
That's like the free part of the game,
And it takes a little bit to even have to use the book. But yeah, the book itself is not actually where you're getting the story from. That's like he said, it's information from the collection of the author's life. So it's like first drafts and just some notes he's written down and some images and things like that. And that's when you finish a chapter, you are supposed to find something in the book. You pick whatever you want that you feel fits the theme of what you had just written. So, you end up, maybe after the gameplay is finished, I'll show you some pictures in the book. So just remind me to do that before we end. But it's really, really cool. So, and then, of course, the augmented reality comes in where it changes the things on the page, showing on your screen.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because at first it came up, there's a thing where you can test it. And it came up with this, image thing, it looked like an anti-piracy image. So it confuses you at first. You're like, what the hell's going on? And the camera, the window that comes up where you're showing, where everything's kind of being shown in, when you're showing it through your camera, the window that comes up, says it's cracked by, I forget what the name is, but it's basically the AI in the software. So you're like, what the hell is this? And then you're like, oh, it's part of the game. So at first I was a little worried. I was like, what the hell's going on? Did I get a messed up copy of it? But it's really cool. And
and these guys really know what they're doing.
They do. These guys have doctorates.
This is cutting edge.
These guys have doctorates in this kind of technology. And they're very good writers. The story in itself, and it could just be the way I'm taking it, but it's very haunting.
Really?
Yeah, it's
obviously I don't have a copy.
It's not real in where it's gonna disturb you. We're oh, it's my life, But it's just haunting in the it's just what's a movie? I'm trying to compare it to a movie that is kind of like that. I really can't think of something.
Like The Matrix?
No, not that. That's not haunting.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of a movie.
To kind of further press the point of the AI in this, if you play Fallout 4, there's a character called Nick Valentine.
Yeah.
And basically that character has had a person from 200 years ago put into his AI, so it's been impressed upon the AI. So it's kind of the same thing. So he has his memories, his personality and all this sort of stuff, but he knows it's an AI, so it's not actually him.
Right.
So it's I am him, but I'm not. It's really kind of deep in that way. Kind of the same way. Sort of kind of the same way that
between human and computer.
There's things that pop up because there's a story within the game outside of the story that you're writing that has to do with the AI, and it's weird because it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same quandaries that Soma had put out as far as what is human. Or what is alive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting that there's even more depth, and there's so much. Now that I say that, there is so much symbolism and imagery and things like that in this, that because I just realized there's so much depth to the game when you're talking about you're running a story, but there's a story behind the story with the AI, and you're actually part of it, and all this sort of stuff. And the story itself is about going deeper into an abandoned research facility in what seems like Antarctica or something like that.
Right.
And I'm not going to go any further because I don't want to spoil anything, but I don't know. It's just really mind-blowing when you start to think about it, and the more you play it.
Right. So Josh.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm chatty too because I'm really excited about this.
Honest question here. Does the AI in the game do a compelling job of feeling like it was a real person at some point?
Yes, it does.
There you go. Sold the game.
That's one thing.
There you go.
That's one thing too, is that you feel like you're a part of the game. It's so surprisingly what's the word I'm trying to think of? It's that it sucks you in.
Immersive?
Immersive, thank you. Is so surprisingly immersive because, it's not just, you're not just reading a book. You are the person here to help this AI finish the book, and the AI reaches out to you. It reaches out to you to help it with its emotional and mental its thoughts, and at one point, it's not a spoiler. It's not really. It's not a huge spoiler. At one point, it reaches out to you because it's afraid it's going to get killed or die. All right, and I'm just going to leave it at that. and you're like, oh man, really feel bad for this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it is,
and because
like,
you have to respond back to it, and
Yeah.
it gives you options on how to respond. So go ahead.
Yeah, so just some information. You can pick up the book, The Icebound Compendium, on Amazon.com, which is really weird for me to say.
Yeah.
For $25, this game is basically $25. You download the game for free, you play for a little bit, and then you pay $25 and get this awesome book that Josh can show you on his webcam.
Yeah, let me go back to that. Here's the book. I would definitely suggest, because I understand the reluctance, and I think they did a really good job of giving enough game without needing the book. And I understand the reluctance to drop $25 on a physical item, because it's not through Steam. It's not
physical item.
It's not what people are
Think of,
used to,
accustomed to.
right?
Yeah.
So you can play the game, see how it goes, and it'll give you like the full mechanic minus the book, minus the augmented reality part of the game that you can play on itch.io. Go buy it.
Yep.
Or go not download it, not buy it.
Yep.
And then
for the low price.
and then once it gets to the point where you need the book, then go buy the book.
Yeah, exactly. If that's what you're into,
or you can just take our word for it and just get the
on
damn
top
book.
of that, isn't there? Is it only? You
Let me
can
show you some pictures,
download.
by the way.
You can also play the game on your iPad or your Windows device. No Android
Let me see.
functionality yet. But if you have a webcam on your computer, you can play it on that too, which is awesome. So if you have an
move
iPad
this
or a
microphone.
computer or a Windows tablet, like, because I remember them developing this for like tablets specifically, and then they branched off to webcams and stuff. But basically, this is a very accessible game that uses a lot of really crazy technology, and because they started this game on a like a scientific grant that they got from this from somewhere. I can't remember where. You can check the interview on IndieGameRiot.com where they talk about that.
The last picture I used at the end of one of my chapters was this one right here. It's kind of like a maze.
That's
It's
so
really
cool.
weird. Even the pictures, the imagery in this book is kind of disturbing.
Yeah.
Just some of
I
it.
feel like so it's an 80-page full color, like decently sized book for $25. Like,
Right.
yeah, you might be paying a little bit more than the actual cost of the physical thing, but with a lot of games, like let's say like you go on Steam and you pay $20 for a game, you're just getting a digital download that you can download whenever you want. This game actually comes with like value because you have a book. And no, the book doesn't have its own value in and of itself, but seriously, like you have a physical thing and you're interacting with your computer. Like,
It's
come
really
on.
cool. It's really good.
That's awesome. That is like, I think that this is one of those games that really is starting a riot because this is something different. Also,
It is.
Josh, I highly encourage you to go to the Amazon link and write a review because you're going to
Good
be
idea.
the first review.
Good idea. I'll do that.
Yeah, do that. In the meantime, while Josh is writing the review, I'm going to go down to the red light district and check out a peep show.
Please give all your attention to Early Access.
Are you interested in ghosts? Like not just in game, but like, have you ever wanted to like go to a place that's supposedly haunted and figure out what's going on? Well, there's a Kickstarter campaign that might interest you called Ghost Theory. Ghost Theory is a first-person horror game where you are going to investigate these different haunted places based on real haunted places. You are given a UV light, and I totally lost my place. You've got like a UV light, an EVP recorder, and holy water, and all these other things. And you also have a little bit of clairvoyance. And not only are you trying to go through all of these levels and figure out what's going on, but you're also trying not to get killed by these ghosts that are in this game. Currently on Kickstarter, they are looking for the dev team Dreadlocks, looking for $141,000 and some change.
BT Dubs Dreadlocks, one of the nominees from our Indie Game Riot of the Year 2015, they made Dex.
Yeah, exactly. And Dex was fun. I remember talking about Dex, and yeah, Dex was very good. I think they've really gone to a different level with this game. Like Dex was a 2D action platformer,
RPG
platformer ish.
Is really cool mishmash of mechanics. But
this is a full 3D, beautiful, awesome horror game.
I just realized something, that this whole episode's pretty chock full of technology and experimentation and all that sort of stuff.
Indie Game Riot, episode 78, the technology episode.
Yeah.
So you've got...
it looks beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And they're also... from what I'm reading on the Kickstarter, they want to create the 3D models off of real life actors captured in stereoscopic 3D. So not only are the models that are going to be in the game like modeled after real life, they're actually taking real life people and turning them into the game. Which, I mean, that's a normal thing, for like faces, like motion capture faces, which is a big thing that like movies like Avatar did. But now they're like going like full force.
Is that one of their perks? If you back them, like if you back enough, will you get to be in the game?
I don't know. That'd be perk. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, so basically I feel like I've told everything. It's a pretty straightforward project. They're asking for a lot of money.
The one thing that sucks, I mean, we just talked about augmented reality, and now this is VR. It sucks that I think even less than augmented reality is, VR is a little bit less accessible because, I mean, there's not a whole lot of
price.
It's price and not a whole lot of just people have the VR device. Even if it was cheap, it's just like it's a big bulky thing, and it's still being developed. So it kind of sucks, and they're asking for a lot of money on this.
But it's not gonna be an exclusively VR experience, right? Like,
as far as I know.
Oh, is it just gonna be exclusively VR?
Yeah, as far as I know. I mean, I can double check, but
I feel like it wouldn't be hard to just be like, you have a VR headset? No, all right, normal game.
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
But like, in the similar vein of like the Amnesias and the Hectors of the horror genre, you do have to avoid and you have to rely on stealth and observation. But there are a few more things. Instead of just like scaring you with jump scares, like, oh, there's a monster, you have to run away. There are a lot of different like things. Like you have your holy water or your EVP recorder where you can hear like different communications. And there's even a button that you can close your eyes for as long as you need to, which is good if this is VR, because you can't just like, I mean, you can't
one of those
close
people
your
that
eyes
like rip
VR.
the VR headset off and just throw it across the room when you get scared.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also on green light, by the way, in case you want to go vote it in. It's still.
And the crazy thing is like just simple things like drops in temperature indicating a ghost's proximity that is shown by your condensated breath. And in a
That's
VR
really cool.
scenario where you have the headset on and you're like playing the game and you like see breath come out, you're like, oh shit. And you like that's part of like the immersion that's like really subtle, but they're creating a mechanic out of it. And I'm super stoked about that.
I think that's really cool. And I'm going to say that it is definitely worth backing and playing on VR. However, I understand VR is expensive, and they are asking a lot of money for this Kickstarter. I think rightfully so, because VR is expensive to develop for.
Well, they're also doing...
and all the stuff that they're putting into it.
Yeah, like think about like the 3D motion capture and digitization.
Even if they put it onto just the PC, I don't think it's going to be the same game. You know what I mean? I think it's made specifically for VR, and if you play it on just PC, it's going to be like, yeah, it's a game. Whereas on VR, you're like, shit, I'm going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. But I think it's very ambitious. Just hopefully not too ambitious as far as like their funding goes. I really want them to succeed. So cross our fingers and hope for that one.
And the reason why they're developing this for VR is there's no visible UI. No button prompts. Mm-hmm. And this is from their Kickstarter. No button prompts, no inventory. You want to use your holy water to cleanse a cursed doll? Look down at your belt, count how many vials you have left, and grab one.
Oh, that's really cool.
Exactly. Like the VR is opening up a lot of different opportunities, and even if you can't afford an Oculus now, the technology will obviously get cheaper, will become more available, and this might be a game that you want to pick up. So definitely check it out.
And by the way, you can be in the game if you pledge what amounts to $7,072 in US. You can start as a ghost in the game.
That's awesome. Yeah, and by the way, for $27 US, you can get an early bird physical copy of the game. For $21 US, you can get a digital copy of the game, plus exclusive access to their backers forum and a set of wallpapers if that interests you. Ghost Theory by Dreadlocks. Definitely check it out on Kickstarter. Or if you don't want to search that, but you have Indie Game Riot like favorited or something, just go to indiegameriot.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. We've got all the Kickstarters that we talk about that we love in a little widget. You can click them, you can check them out, and it'll be all great.
And this could be maybe one of the first games for VR that you could say, because you know how like when a console comes out, you're like, there's a game for that console that makes me buy that console specifically for that game. This could be that game, or one of the first games that would be like that. I'm buying a VR. I'm buying Oculus for Ghost Theory.
Yeah, and because like the gaming headsets, like $600 is a lot of money to drop for a headset. But if you have content like this that's really taking full control, not just in the immersion, but of the interaction within a game, like that's a selling point. And as much as I'm a little bit frustrated with the price point of the hardware, might be worth picking up.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You know what else is worth picking up? Because it's free.
Our free fun game of the week.
This week on Free Fun, we have I mentioned earlier about technology and things like that, but this is more of an experimental game, and it's free, so it's fine to experiment because, whether you like it or not, you didn't pay any money. Just a little bit of time, and it's a short game, too. It is called Orchids to Dusk, and I think this game was also nominated at the IGF Awards, if I remember correctly.
I feel like it seems familiar that would happen.
Yeah, but basically, it's kind of a walking simulator, but it's kind of again, I mentioned like a Zen sort of thing earlier. It's kind of like that. Orchids to Dusk is they call it a short contemplative wandering experience with some really good music. It was developed by Paul. I'm not going to say this right. Paul Clarisou. I don't know. Sorry. With music by Marsky. Or Marsky. I'll say Sky. I can't pronounce these names at all. Basically, you're an astronaut stranded on an alien planet with only a few minutes left to live. So you're really kind of contemplating what to do with the last moments of your life, right? Because you only have so much oxygen in your suit. So you can't breathe on the planet. So what are you going to do? It makes you think. It's deep.
Definitely.
What would you do, Tech?
I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you.
You don't know what? If you were stranded on an alien planet that looked like this,
I don't want to walk around a bunch
with say like 5 minutes left to live. What? You're just lazy. You're like, well, fuck this. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, just freak out for the amount of time that my oxygen has left and then die. Like that's probably how.
Actually, sleeping's probably not a bad idea. Just so you can just die right then.
Yeah.
Man, that's depressing.
Man, that's pretty dark. Well, if you don't want to do that, you can always play the game.
Yeah, just play the game and experience it through the game.
Yeah.
Anyway, apparently there's some sort of technology they also implemented into this called co-op. I'm not sure what it actually does. I didn't get a chance to look into it too much. But it says created with the support of co-op, and it's spelled KO_OP. So maybe some of you devs out there might know more about that. But it's a really interesting game. Go check it out. It's on itch.io, and or just go on to coopmode.com/orchids. And it's really artsy-fartsy. Cool. Thanks, Paul, PayPal, whatever your name is. Sorry, but you're good at what you do, I think.
Yep.
It's hard to give an opinion on those kinds of games because they're not really the standard, you know?
Yeah.
As Prep says in the chat, well, that happened. That's kind of what it was. But again, a few minutes free. What do you have to lose? Except for maybe the show, because it's the end of the show. The end of the show means all good things must come to an end, as you know. You're just going to say yeah for the rest of the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Just so, as a reminder, if you like what we do, you want to help us reach your goals, you want to help make Indie Game Riot even better and cooler and awesome, please consider going to our Patreon, patreon.com/Indie Game Riot. You can see all of our goals that we had planned. In between segments, I was talking to our live audience about the tabletop spinoff that we want to do, maybe bi-weekly or once a month, for tabletop games. Really cool. But it's to dedicate that extra time. You know, we need to have some income, which is why we asked for that on Patreon. It's one of our goals on Patreon. So that's just one example of many goals that we have. We have huge plans. So please go to patreon.com and consider supporting us that way. Thank you so much. The other way that you can help us out is just contacting us in general. You can go to hitbox.tv/JaShinYa and watch us live every Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And chat with us in the chat as these fine folks did tonight. Thank you all for showing up, by the way. And you get to hear some cool stuff in between, and usually nonsense. Rev is usually here to supplement that nonsense, but not today because, thanks to internet providers and such. The other way that you can go is through Twitter at IGR Podcast or Facebook.com/IGR Podcast, or email us. If I can remember the email, contact at indiegameriot.com. I almost gave my personal. And then I almost gave the website, and it was just, anyway. Of course, our website is indiegameriot.com.
Yeah.
Any last words, Tech?
I just hope I'm not snowed in again.
I hope I don't have to chop off my foot.
Yeah, really. You shouldn't. You'll be fine.
We'll see.
Yeah. Hopefully Rev will be back next week.
Yeah.
Like I
already know what our starting to Riot game is next week.
Cool.
Because we're a week behind, but it's a game I really want to cover.
Awesome. We'll talk about that after the show.
Yeah. And say goodbye. Single gentlemen.
See you next time, guys.
But not actually single. I meant as
have a good one, folks. That's Rev. I'm making fun of Rev.
Yeah, I know.